It is show time. Hello. And yes, once again, hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? And welcome to a special trade deadline edition of 27 outs here on YouTube. Wait, what's going on here? My mistake. What? Hold on. Malfunction. Oh, sorry. That was sorry about that, guys. I had the actual live opened up in another tab. I forgot to close that, which is why you guys just heard that. My mistake. My apologies on that. Completely forgot to make sure I had that closed. But anyway, welcome to a special trade deadline edition of 27 outs. I, of course, am Ivan alongside Stefan, aka probably one of the sleepiest guys right now as we do this show live. He's going to get into that in just a bit because he knows exactly what I'm referring to when I say that. But
No,
welcome, guys. Seriously.
I'll let you get into it for me. You know the work I was doing. I'll let you explain to the people.
Yeah. So clearly today's title of the show, I must say, is straight to the point, right? Like there was so much that took place, so many teams who really said, yo, just screw it. We're going for it. The Padres, the Mets, the Mariners, the Yankees made some interesting deals, you know? And we're also going to talk about teams who we thought should have done more. And for the teams who really didn't do anything, right? Because there's some disappointments as well. So this show is going to be full of all of that and more, right? And usually, you know, when I say this to you, Stefan, more often than not, I have somewhat of a clue or I know exactly what it is that we're going to start the show with. And while we do know that tonight is strictly about the deadline and also what to look forward to with August beginning tomorrow and still having September, so 2 full months of regular season baseball left for us. But yeah, man, this trade deadline, as I was just telling you, Stefan, before we went live here tonight, is definitely a memorable one. Like, despite what happens later this year in the World Series, because I can care less about that right now, I'm gonna look back at this trade deadline and say this was a 10 out of 10. Like if somebody would have asked me to rate this on a scale from 1 to 10, this trade deadline was a 10 out of 10. If somebody would have asked me, yo, rated 1 to 5 stars, the 2025 MLB trade deadline gets 5 stars for me. I don't know if a lot of you guys feel that same way, but I think it lived up to the hype. You know, usually certain years you hear certain names, you think they're going to be moved, and then the day comes and goes, and they're still exactly with the same team that we thought they were going to move on from. But not this year. Not this year, right? And even outside of some of the teams that I already did mention, you had some teams who, listen, while they weren't able to land who they were looking for, such as the Cubs, such as the Brewers, such as the Rangers and others as well, they added on to what they already have, right? And for those of you who have been paying attention, you know exactly what I mean when I say that. But Stefan, man, I mean, you have been keeping us up to date in the chat over the past, I can't even say 24 hours. I say 36 to 48 hours because yesterday was an appetizer. Like if you thought yesterday was something special, today was literally a 5-course meal. Like for real. All the way down to the final second. Like 6 p.m. Like that was literally when teams, I would say, finally was like, all right, I think we gave it our all. And maybe not too, because I did see some sneaky trades that, you know, were finalized at like 6:15, 6:20, I believe 6:30. I had even seen something like go down. So listen, man, if any of you stop by tonight, say something negative about this trade deadline, listen, I have no words. If you were to ask me if I wanted to see this yearly, at least once a year, I'd say, hell yeah. Where can I sign up for that? Because, well, you know, we don't live in a perfect world, and not every deadline is going to end the way this one ended. But boy, was it something special, man. Stefan, how are you feeling? I know you were telling me you only got a few hours of sleep, last night. But yeah, bro, really start off wherever it is that you would like to start off because I genuinely don't know where to start. Tonight's show is gonna be jam-packed.
Okay, so boys and girls, it's story time. It's story time with Stefan. This whole show is gonna be a story about how my life has gone for the last 48 hours. So strap in, kids. We're gonna start with the craziest move of the deadline, which to me was Carlos Correa going back to the Astros. And we're gonna work our way back. I believe that the Houston Astros said to themselves, you know what? We need to do something. Isaac Paredes is done for the year. He's officially been announced. He's finished for the year, the third baseman. Right. He's not playing for the Astros at all this year, the rest of this year. The Astros knew, listen, we're not going to do the Nolan Arenado thing because it doesn't make sense for us. He might not fit the culture. He may not like it here. Whatever the case may be. The moment I heard yesterday that there were rumblings about, him possibly going back, I said to myself, well, damn. Okay. And this is before they traded Duran to the Phillies, which we're going to get to too.
Yeah, that was another big move too.
You started to realize like, this deadline isn't normal, right? Because I grade deadlines in tiers, right? There's tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 3.
This is a tier 1.
This is a tier 1 plus 1A plus 1A plus 1A.
Yeah.
Where you literally did not stop thinking, what's next? Because here's the thing I'm going to tell you, right? The first trade I saw, which I knew it was going to be bonkers, when I saw that Taylor Rogers got traded to the Mets for the package they gave up to get him, I was like, this is going to be nuts. But the reason why I'm starting with Carlos Correa is that's a move you kind of like, ooh, that feels important. And the reason why I use the word important is
I think we're having technical difficulties, Stefan. I don't know if you guys are also seeing that on your end, but Stefan has froze here. Hopefully he is aware of that himself. But hopefully you guys can hear me. Chat, by the way, quickly, I want to ask you guys, while he is frozen, can you guys hear me at least? Can you guys please update me in the chat? Anybody? I just want to make sure like the whole thing isn't ruined and, maybe it's only Stefan and he could just quickly hop back in. Let me know, chat. Can you guys hear me? I want to continue with what was being spoken about. Thank you, chat. I appreciate that. But yeah, to add on my thoughts about the Correa deal, until Stefan figures out what's going on over there, that Correa deal was absolutely insane, man. Like he's going back home. He's going back to what feels comfortable. He's going back to what he's known all along. I think the last time we saw Carlos Correa in a Houston Astros uniform was probably about 4 years ago, dating back to 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a while. And boy, did the Astros really do the damn thing with getting their guy back. It was certainly something that I don't think a lot of people were expecting, especially when you look back at, how they went about the Bregman situation, moving on from him and allowing him to go elsewhere, to suddenly just saying, yo, you know what? If Carlos Correa is available, we want him. We know he wants to come here. I mean, why not, right? And they figured it out. Like Carlos Correa right away, there was a quote that came out shortly after. And he's like, listen, I'm going back home for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win another World Series. And not only did the Astros answer in a huge way by making the move for Correa, but boy, did they do other things as well. Like, it's kind of crazy. I can only imagine how long tonight's show is going to be when you really go down the list of teams that really went all in. The Astros are part of that list. The Padres are part of that list. The Yankees, the Mets, the Mariners. The Mariners are another team who, for a while now, we've been screaming like, yo, go get a bat. Go get a bat. Not only did they get one bat in Josh Naylor at first, but they got two. They ended up getting their guy back, Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio Suarez, who was with the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken, just a couple of seasons ago before he went to Arizona, is literally right there now again, and it's a completely different team, right? When you look at that lineup now, as I mentioned, with the addition of a Josh Naylor and Suarez, and by the way, Julio Rodriguez, who is also heating up as well. So you got Julio Rodriguez. Welcome back, Stefan. Just talking Mariners. I listen. Right away I saw you freeze, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take over. But the Mariners did something huge as well. You know, couple of things. You got an elite lineup now. You have an elite starting rotation, and then you have an elite closer in Andres Munoz. Like, could it get any better? But go ahead. You could go back to what you were saying about Correa, Stefan. I was just,
No, my power went out just now.
It happens, bro. Hopefully it don't happen again.
So, no, the Mariners had a great deadline too. Let's not sleep on them. But
yeah,
I think the Houston Astros were the team that to me made me feel like, yo, it's time to go. And they realized, listen, it's time to win championships. And the owner, Jim Crane, we give him a lot. Like, listen, he don't like to do big deals, and he's averse to financial risk, and all these things are true. However, give the guy credit. Carlos Correa's contract is 3 years, $92 million. Now, the Twins took on $30 million of that $92 million, but $60 million over 3 years is still a lot of money for a guy that is aging. He's not the same player he once was, but I think him being revitalized by the idea, yo, we could go to the World Series.
Right.
Like, we could go to the championship series. I can make my mark on this postseason just by being back in this uniform. And the moment I saw that, I'm like, all right, everything's right with the world, because that guy, he should have retired a Houston Astros to begin with.
Right.
So the fact that he's there to kind of dovetail it and end his career, that made me feel good. But
what I really like about it too, though, is like straight up, he was like, I have no problem playing third base. Like, I know I played shortstop for them for years. I know I won a World Series being a shortstop for them for as long as I was there for prior to leaving. But he understands Jeremy Pena is their shortstop, not only for now, but for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're able to be a guy like Carlos Correa, who has been there, done that, and you have absolutely no problem being a shortstop for the Astros aside yet again to now be a third baseman for them, that says a lot. That says a lot not only for the Astros, but in Carlos Correa as well.
What it also says is I got a no trade, and the only place I was willing to waive it was to come back here.
He said that, exactly.
So he knew playing third was his only option to get back there. Listen, credit the Astros for pulling the trigger. I know the money was a question mark, and they thought it was dead yesterday. But when I got up this morning, I got the sense that, hold on, this might not be dead. Like, there's some stuff flying around here. So Houston, I thought they were going to do more than they did, but boy, is that a hell of a move.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny you say that, because I was going to say that myself, Stefan. It kind of seemed like they weren't done. I heard they were close. Of course, you shared the news with us. They were close on Dylan Cease. There was some talks about actually getting a Suarez in there, if at all possible.
The package was to the final 5 minutes. They were trying to get Robert Suarez and Dylan Cease from the Padres, but they couldn't line up in terms of depth and prospects, and they couldn't line up with everything. But what I will tell you is that front office left no stone unturned. They tried everything. They tried to acquire Pete Fairbanks with about 10 minutes left. They had Tampa on the phone, and they had San Diego on the phone at the same time, trying to get, them to come to an agreement, but it just didn't work out. But they were super aggressive. The other big deal to me, AJ Preller.
Big deal, big deals. Because I think there's several.
No, the other big deal of the morning. Let's just say the morning, because there was the other big deal of the midday was AJ Preller going absolutely madman, scorched earth, 4 years control of Mason Miller left for the number 3 prospect in baseball and for a pretty significant package that I don't think anybody else could have topped.
Right.
I don't think nobody else has not that nobody else could have topped it. Let me rephrase this. That nobody else would have had the stones to even put out there. Like, yo, here's my number 3 here's the number 3 prospect in all of baseball. We want this dude. You ain't gonna get a better offer than this. What are you gonna do? AJ Preller is a madman.
I think it's safe to say when it comes to the Padres that they literally gave up their future for 2025. They said, screw it. Why not?
Dude, he traded 7 of their top 15 prospects at this deadline alone.
What I really love, like, in addition to getting Mason Miller, as you mentioned, and Sears as well, who was a part of that deal from the A's.
Right.
They spoke to the O's and said, yo, give us Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. Like, we even talked about it as well in terms of the O's moving on from certain guys.
Yeah.
They did exactly that. Cedric Mullins going to the Mets.
Mm-hmm. So let me tell you something. I think what it shows you is you can't have fear when you're trying to win. Like, fear is the last place you should be when you're trying to win. You should not operate in a place of fear, right? So my thought process was, I was like, you know what, AJ, you're gonna do something, and you're gonna all make us think twice about our reservations, about why did he do this, about I got it. Let me tell you something right now. AJ Preller needs to be applauded today. To me, AJ Preller had the best deadline of anybody, and that includes David Stearns and Brian Cashman going straight nuclear on everybody, okay? AJ Preller is a sicko. He's a sick individual in the greatest way possible. And listen, if San Diego calls you, here's a pro tip. Don't pick up the phone. Don't pick up the phone, because this guy is going to get what he wants, and when he gets what he wants, he's going to look really smart. Listen, do you understand? Their bullpen, you could literally put their bullpen up with the Yankee bullpen, and you probably have the 2 best bullpens in the game with the Mets as a close third. Do you understand what that looks like?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You're literally walking into a series with Suarez, Miller, Jeremiah Estrada, Monahan, the lefty. Are you kidding me, man? And I'm not even talking about Jason Adam and come on, man.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to get ahead of myself. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we still do have 2 months left to the regular season. I believe that the route is not going to be as easy anymore for the LA Dodgers. I think the Padres are going to have something to say about that now. And I also believe the Mets are going to have something to say about that as well.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The Dodgers are a wild card team. They're a wild card team.
Right. I think they might be okay with that, because I think in their eyes, it's just get in. Let's get in, and then we'll worry about the rest after.
That's fine. Here's the problem. You get in, look who you got to deal with. You got to deal with the Mets, okay? You got to deal with San Diego, okay? That's not fun. You might have to deal with the Phillies.
The Phillies, yeah.
Okay? I'm good on all that. Take a year off. This ain't for you.
You know what I like right now?
Get everybody right.
I like the fact that while we still have a lot of baseball left, you can literally start to narrow it down in both leagues to like 4 or 5 teams each league. Like, it is that close.
It is. Listen, think about this. We now know who are the 6 best teams in baseball. We're here now. Listen, the Tigers, your seat just got snatched. Toronto, your seat just got snatched. Your soul's just been snatched.
You know, I do like what the Blue Jays did more than the Tigers. Not a big fan of Chris Paddock going to the Tigers. Charlie Morton as well, really. I mean, he is going to eat a lot of innings.
But we're going to get there, though. The reason why I'm saying to you is the Padres, the Phillies, and the Mets put the NL on notice, right? Like, the Dodgers may not come out of the National League alive this year. I'm talking about the wild card round. Forget about the division series and the championship series and the world. They may not come out of the wild card round alive.
Yeah, problem is too, you may run into a team that's extremely hot.
Hot.
They want it more. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And here's the thing, right? I'm sitting there looking at this and I'm like, you know what AJ Preller realizes? It's good to have all that money. All that money's good. But can you have a front office that's willing to put their neck on the line to be right? The Dodgers did not want to play in this market. They did not. They did not want to give up a Dalton Rushing. They did not want to give up the type of prospects needed to make a big deal happen. Andrew Friedman did everything possible to avoid being a factor at this deadline. And they did nothing. They got Brock Stewart from Minnesota, nice reliever. They traded James Outman to the Twins. We get it. But AJ Preller said, listen, I'm risk averse. Whatever happens, fuck it. Whatever happens, what can I do? I got to go for it, bro. Because how many more kicks at the can do you get before it's like, all right, bro, I can't kick the can down the road anymore. We've been kicking the can down the road for the last 3-4 years. And look at this, right? You would have been fine if he stopped at Mason Miller and said, you know, AJ, good work. You did your job today. Ryan O'Hearn basically puts Gavin Sheets as your DH. That lineup is ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
You put Ramon Laureano in center field?
Ramon Laureano and Tatis in center and right is going to be fun to watch.
They're catching everything.
No fly zone in San Diego.
You literally, we might have to have a conversation. They might have the second deepest bench in the big leagues.
Possibly.
Because you're talking about Gavin Sheets. You're talking about your boy Arise. There's going to be days where Arise has to come off the bench. He's not starting, not every day, not with that lineup. O'Hearn, Laureano, they did, and at the end they traded for Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
Just to be like, yo, here's another lefty out of the bullpen. Are you kidding me? Yo, AJ Preller for president.
Do you if you had to rank, some of these teams who did go all out at the deadline, would you consider putting the Padres at number 1?
I'm putting the Padres 1, I'm putting the Mets 2, and I'm putting the Yankees 3.
Okay, right.
Like what the Mets did, getting Ryan Helsley and Cedric Mullins.
Right. Yeah, man.
Hold up a second.
And you called it as well, too. For those of you who may not remember, but you probably do if you were here on some of the more recent shows, especially early this week on Monday and last week's show as well. Stefan, you were already talking about the Mets, talking to the O's about possibly landing Cedric Mullins to be their everyday center fielder. And they did exactly that. I think they heard you loud and clear.
So I had heard, okay, this goes back to the story time point, right? I had heard from somebody with the Orioles that the Mets were literally calling them every hour on the hour during business hours, going, yo, what you need? Like David Stearns did not get off the phone, and his lieutenants did not get off the phone with the Orioles for the last 4 days. What do you need? Text, calls.
You know what's funny, too? They were on the phone watching Cedric Mullins rob 2 home runs this week.
And I'm telling you right now, listen, you could say what you want. Athletically, that kid is something else.
Yeah, bro. Good defender. He's got some pop in the back. Could steal a bag as well.
Yeah, man. He's going to steal a couple big bases when the time calls for it. That guy, you know what that screams to me? Postseason, October baseball. Because the way he plays the game, he's annoying. He gets on, he's going to steal second. He might steal third. If you hang a slider, he might hit it to the apple in dead center field.
Right.
Listen, David Stearns, I don't want to hear nothing about, David Stearns is afraid to make moves. Hell no. Taylor Rogers is elite level relief pitching. And he said, prospects be damned.
You know what's crazy too? He made these deals, right? For Mullins, as you mentioned, Helsley from the Cards and Rogers, while still keeping all of the infielders that we thought were going to be on the move.
That is insane. Listen, This is why I'm putting the Mets and the Yankees right here,
Right.
because the Yankees acquired what they acquired. They gave up one top 10 prospect to do all of that.
That was special. Right. Yeah.
That is insane. Listen, don't want to hear anybody bad talking either one of these general managers, or we're gonna come up here and fight y'all. We're gonna come up here and fight y'all.
It's funny how quickly things change, though. While I don't disagree with you, Stefan, but just a few days ago, you know what the chatter was around Yankee Land. Yo,
No,
get rid of Boone, Cashman.
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? We don't appreciate nothing in New York. Living in New York, me and you, we both know how it is. Is what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me? Why is this not this way? Why is it not going the way we want it to go? There should be no criticism of David Stearns right now at all. You walked out with one of the filthiest submarine righties in baseball right now. 1.80 is his ERA.
Right.
1.80 is his ERA. Right? You can't. I'm not mad at the Helsley move. Ryan Helsley, Edwin Diaz as the bridge. Good luck hitting that in the late innings when the Mets have the lead.
Yeah, listen, I told you yesterday, Stefan, and now that we're doing the show, I think it's a perfect time to share it again with the chat. I think if you're a Mets fan, D-Rails, I'm talking to you, and other Mets fans who are watching right now, you guys should be excited. Like, for the next 2 months, even going into October, if the Mets have the lead after the 6th inning, it might be a wrap.
Yeah. Game's over. And here's the thing. The thing is, Cedric Mullins, I thought they might do Harrison Bader. I thought Ramon Laureano could be a fit if they couldn't get the Cedric thing lined up. The moment they heard from the White Sox, Luis Roberts not available, which they heard early last week he wasn't going to be available, they called Baltimore every day like Baltimore owed them money. Yo, come off that, you heard? And if you don't think these players are in the Met clubhouse going, yo, hold up. You got Stearns, you got Rogers, you got Helsley, right? And we still walking in here with Lindor, Alonso. The lineup is still solid.
Yeah.
Yo, dog.
Locked and loaded.
Don't want to hear nothing about the Mets. Don't want to hear nothing about the Mets. And usually, you know what? Usually, Rays, I would fight you on that. I'm still getting rid of Boone and Cashman comments, but I'm in a jovial mood and I'm too tired to fight.
Right.
Brian Cashman did his job. He put his big boy pants on. Right? When we were asking, yo, what are you going to do? You get the third baseman. He got Ryan McMahon for virtually nothing.
Who, by the way, walked it off last night, right?
Who went 2 for 3 today.
Yeah.
You got him for virtually nothing. And by the way, all right, so you didn't get Mason Miller. By the way, for what the Padres paid for Mason Miller, I'm not paying that. AJ Preller is the only crazy one that said, I'm going to pay it. I'm not paying that. If I was an executive, I'm not paying that. But you went Bednar, Bird, and Duvall. Are you kidding? What? Yo, you literally have 3 closers in that bullpen.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Duvall and Bednar, of course. Bird, I'd have to see more of. I don't know much about him, but obviously the other two are certainly guys who their names ring some bells. You know,
his slider, this kid Paul Bird, Jake Bird, that slider is ridiculous, bro. His shit goes horizontal like to the other batters, but that shit is filthy.
It could get scary for not only the rest of the American League, but every other team in baseball, because you picked up these 2 guys, right? As well as Bird, so 3. But don't let Luke Weaver get it going again. Don't let Devin Williams find the groove again, because we're talking 4 to 5 guys deep in that Yankee bullpen. If all goes well, come postseason time.
Listen, the reason why I like what they did is because what were they looking for? They were looking for high strikeout stuff, Because if you strike out, guess what? The ball's not put in play and your flaws can't be exposed.
Right.
You got 3 guys coming out of the bullpen throwing 98. Good luck trying to hit that. Now you got a shortstop in the late innings, Caballero for Volpe. If Volpe still got the yips, all right, young fella, come off the field. Caballero's going to make all the plays and he's going to steal bases.
Yeah, he's got over 30 stolen bases already. Yeah.
He leads the big leagues in stolen bases.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's tied for the league lead, excuse me. And then you turn around, you look at Ryan McMahon, he gobbles everything up at third.
Yeah.
Austin Slater hits lefties like they're going to the chair. I have no complaints. What they do in the playoffs, that is totally up to them. But if you're asking, did the GM do his job and put you in the best position possible to make a run? Yes. The Mets and the Yankees both were put in a position where you're like, hold up. You did what? I can't complain. More so, I'm more excited for what the Mets did because I'm like, yo, now I look at the Mets and I'm going, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
You got range in the outfield now. You got a center fielder that's literally going to get to everything. And at the end of the day, right, we could have a conversation of, yo, who wants to deal with them defensive? Because now you're elite up the middle.
Yeah. With Lindor and Mullins, of course.
You're elite up the middle now. And what I will tell you is, again, this all got to be played out. We got to watch these games be played out. We got to watch how these situations.
Yeah, of course. That's also something important to say, too. I'm glad you stated that, Stefan. Like, while there were a lot of deals that were absolutely insane and we're beyond excited that some of these teams actually went for it, there's also a flip side to it as well, right? Some of these dudes are actually going to flop as well. And it's only a matter of time until we find out which deals weren't actually all that anyway.
Who can handle, like, I'm gonna be honest, like I like what the Mariners did.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know how that's gonna look in the playoffs, though.
I like it. I think they have the rotation, and we're not just talking 1 or 2 guys, bro.
No, that rotation is loaded.
Yeah, Castillo, Gilbert, Wu, George Kirby. He's finally starting to get back into it.
It's filthy.
You know, it's
crazy.
crazy.
They should have gotten another bullpen on to go with Munoz.
They could have. I agree.
If they could have gotten another bullpen arm, it would have been curtain.
Listen, you can't do everything, right? And the fact that they got Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez
is insane.
Look at that lineup, man. Suarez. Kyle Riley, obviously, who is, a lot of people believe that he's the American League MVP outside of Aaron Judge. Yeah, Randy Arozarena, who a lot of people sleep on him as well,
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Sleep if you want to. Josh Naylor, that's a little sneaky clutch homer guyer. His 25-30 for you real quick.
Who also has postseason experience.
Yeah, man.
He was part of that Guardians team last year against the Yankees.
It's going to be interesting to see how these teams navigate this, right? And which leads me to the point of, boy, how bold is Jerry Dipoto for saying, you know what? I know I only got you for 2.5 months. Most people wouldn't have taken the shot. Come to Seattle, Gino. Come back to Seattle. Let's try to make a run for it. When most teams would have been like, oh, but he only got 2 months. Credit to them for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is insane.
Mm-hmm. By the way, that American League West now with the Astros, the Mariners. And listen, I'm not counting them out completely yet, but the Rangers as well made a sneaky move. Obviously, I even told you this stuff. Right? Like when it comes to the Rangers, I didn't necessarily believe that they had to do much when it came to the pitching because first and foremost, they have the best team ERA in all of baseball. Like the Rangers only give up 3 runs per game, literally. And that was without having a Merrill Kelly.
But remember,
now you add Kelly to DeGrom DeGrom and Nathan Eovaldi, who has a sub-2 ERA.
That's insane,
bro.
And look, right, like I'm always the person that says, "Yo, I want to double down on the strength." Their pitching is good enough where they literally tripled down on the strength and said, "We might beat you guys 3-0, but you ain't scoring." What I wanted to see the Rangers do was attack the bullpen. Because I knew there weren't going to be bats out there to go get them the kind of bat that they would have wanted if it all came together. That would have been tough. But I wanted to see them attack the bullpen. But Chris Young, he attacked the area of strength. And most times people say, aren't you kind of hitting the same area? Yeah, but what do we always say? Pitching wins championships, right? You got to have pitching to get into the dance. Well, they got it all right. Yeah. And if the offense does what they're capable of doing, which they have been lately, Texas could scare some teams in the West and all of the American League.
You know what I like too, and I think the Rangers are one of these teams when it came to this year's deadline, was the fact that a lot of teams didn't just give up and say, yo, you know what? Well, we can't get what we were looking for, so we're just not going to make any moves anyway. Right. While there were teams like that, but the Rangers certainly wanted them. The Cubs as well, another team who could have been like, we didn't really get the pitch we wanted. Well, you know what? Let's go out and get a utility guy, Willie Castro from the Twins.
Solid.
Let's make the lineup even better.
Here's my problem with Jed Hoyer. Right, like, you just got a contract extension. You're on more solid ground than I believe AJ Preller is in San Diego, and AJ Preller just threw caution to the wind. You're sitting here nut hugging over the number 2 prospect when this guy traded the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, and he don't know if he's gonna have a job in 2 years.
Right.
And you sitting here nut hugging the number 2 prospect. Help me understand that. If you're the Cubs, you need pitching, and you knew you needed pitching, and you saw how expensive this market was gonna be. You knew it. The moment you knew that, you should have been open for business right after they gave you the extension. That's the thing that I'm harping on, because it's not like they're going to rip the carpet out from under you immediately. They're going to give you rope. Yo, go trade the number 2 prospect for some pitching. You know what that does? That tells the fan base and the players in the clubhouse, you know what? He got paid, so he's looking out for us now.
Yeah.
That's what this says, because now you don't care about what happens in 4 years from now. You worried about right now. See, we get too caught up in, but what happens if we give up this player, but it might come back and bite us, and it might, who cares?
And I think a lot of people forget too, most top prospects, while they are top prospects, most of them don't pan out. They just don't. That's the way it goes.
But that's why I'm saying, like, I'm kind of upset with, like, Boston. You guys did nothing today.
Oh, yeah, man. The Red Sox disappointed me, bro, big time.
Like,
but TD, where you guys at, man? Sox fan for life. Where you guys at?
Like,
come on.
The Red Sox disappointed me today.
Big time, big time.
Detroit disappointed me today. Detroit, you're sitting on a lefty gold mine in Terry Skubal, and you give him Charlie Morton and Chris Paddock. No disrespect to those gentlemen, but come on now.
Yeah, they just don't fit what I believe the Tigers are about now, right? And the Tigers are a legitimate threat in the American League.
They're not only a legitimate threat to me. You could have been the team that came out of the American League if you handled yourself correctly.
No, that's a lot harder, especially when you look at what the Yankees did in the Houston Astros.
Right, and I'm like, you sitting there, Scubal's probably looking at you like, yo, dog, you seen what these 2 GMs just did? And you sitting here giving me on the edge relievers and this one. And like, they were in on Bednar. How's David Bednar not wearing a Tiger uniform right now?
And you know what these teams can't say this year, right? Which some of them, they tend to like run away and say, oh, well, this team wanted too much or he just wasn't available. You can't say that this year. Guys were moving on from wherever it was that they were playing at, regardless.
And you know what? We have to stop with the buyers and sellers. That no longer exists anymore. This market is now the scared versus the not scared. the guys that are serious versus the guys that play pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guys that are serious, you saw what they did. Prospects be damned. Prospect capital be damned. Dave Dombrowski, this is why I love Dave Dombrowski. And I'll love him to the day that, God rest his soul, he passes away or whatever. Dave Dombrowski said, you know what? Prospects, okay. I'm going to get a guy that throws 103 right now.
Duran. Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? Oh, by the way, Harrison Bader's still an above average center fielder. Dave Dombrowski is a G. He's a straight up gangster. I don't want to hear nothing about stop this now. Yo, but that don't always work. And what happens when he leaves? He don't care what happens when he leaves, because when he leaves, he's going to get another job.
True, like always. Yeah.
What the fuck? He ain't worried about what happens when he leaves.
Right.
Dave Dombrowski's here to win and win right now.
Mm-hmm.
AJ probably ain't worried about the Padres farm system in 5 years. He ain't worried. He might not be in baseball no more. He might just be running a finance firm somewhere.
Yeah.
Chilling in Napa Valley with his feet up. You think these guys care, bro? You can't get too emotionally attached to things. This is why, to me, you guys all look at me, you and everybody in the group, Ivan. When I say something, I'm really cold-hearted sometimes. Yo.
Yeah, sometimes.
If I gotta cut bait with you, that's it. AJ Preller looked at what he's had today and said, number 3 prospect, you a prospect. You like air. Go ahead. Jalen, I get a chance to go get Duran?
You know what I also believe gave the Padres some hope as well was just sweeping the Mets. Now, I know the Mets came out of that series looking like a completely different team with the acquisitions that they made.
They did.
But, boy, the Padres, before even landing any of the guys who we just spoke about, they just swept the Mets.
And they look good.
That was a big series.
They look good doing it, too. Yeah. And so, like, I applaud the guys that don't care. That have the don't care gene. We kill Cash, he don't care. We kill all these other GM. We kill Dave Dombrowski. Oh, he never builds a bullpen. He don't care about building the future. He don't care. AJ Preller, madman, don't care. Prospects, I'll make more. What are we talking? And listen, this is the difference between a Craig Breslow. What are you doing, Craig Breslow? This is all you did? Dustin May is all you did all day? Oh, but they were trying to get Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan's been off limit for the past 3 weeks. Oh, but they're trying to make a last-ditch effort for Joe Ryan.
I also heard the Red Sox were in on Merrill Kelly. I believe they also made an offer to Lance Suarez, and they wanted him to be their first baseman as well.
Look, if you wanted it to happen, you would have made it happen.
True, like some of these other teams did, right?
Like, there's no sense of, he got close, but he just couldn't find a match. If you wanted it to happen, you could have made it happen. The problem is these executives are too afraid of the idea, if I get this wrong, they're going to crucify me. You can't worry about the post-game press conference when you haven't even played the game yet. Everybody's always worried about, what happens if they ask me this post-game? What happens if they tell me this? What happens if I hear this? You can't worry about the outcome before the outcome is even decided. You got to get on the field to play. And you did nothing.
Speaking of nothing, you know what I want to bring up too? How about the Giants? They're making that deal for Devers when they did a while back to now come trade deadline. Basically telling the Dodgers and the Padres like, yo, we're signing out. Rogers, you can leave. Doval, you can go to the Bronx, but we can't keep up with y'all. That's what the Giants said.
And you know what's crazy is, okay, I'm going to be careful how I word this because I don't want to sound like I know more than I do. But if you're Buster Posey right now, you got to be you got to be a little beside yourself. You trade for Devers, everybody, like, oh shit, 3-team race, here we go. And 6 weeks later, not even a full 2 months, your closer's gone. Your sidewinding righty, who's disgusting, is just flat out. I'm done. Right? Like, huh?
Just straight up gave up.
That is insane. And like, it's not like you got back anything. Now the Mets gave you Drew Gilbert, but I'm hearing this front office wasn't that high on Drew as the previous front office was, because David Stearns didn't draft Gilbert. Drew Gilbert. He didn't draft the kids that they just gave to San Francisco. So his emotional attachment wasn't there like the previous regimes was.
I also think how they went about the deadline as well makes me question the acquisition and landing Willy Adames. Like, what was the point of even getting him in the offseason if you were just going to fall flat on your face come August, you know?
It's so what it comes down to is like we have to also understand too. I think he understood like, yo, hold up. AJ ain't stopping. The Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Right.
Like, what can I really do in this market? How can I get better? Not for next year, but for the year after that. Having a closer for a team that's not contending is like having a nice painting in a garage. If you can't hang it and display it no more or nowhere, what's the point of the nice painting?
Right.
You're still in a garage. You're still going to be terrible. So my point is like, I get it. Like, I get why you do what you did. But at the end of the day, the question then becomes, okay, what's worth it to us, right? So you saw what relievers were netting teams. I got two right here. Let me flip these two. Let me get something back. And let me set myself up for the future. Like, that's why we've been killing the Orioles all year on the show. The Orioles did the damn thing today. Their farm system improved drastically today.
Yeah.
Orioles, I got a pro tip for y'all. The next 15 of those 20 picks you make in the next draft needs to be all pitchers, and we need to develop these young brothers. If you take another position player, there should be riots in the streets of Camden Yards. Pitching, and more pitching till you can't say the word pitching no more.
Right.
Please.
I want to take a quick second, Stefan, because we have a lot of people watching right now. Shout out to everybody. Really, we appreciate it. For those of you who are watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Twitter is where 27 Outs was really putting in a lot of our work on behalf of Stefan. I want to thank you for, just doing the damn thing, right? Like keeping me up to date, keeping everybody else who watches the show up to date. So I want to say thank you.
No, it was, listen, so what happens is, guys, is like, there's always something happening, right? Like when you get to this time of the year, it's almost like, all right, you got one done. You start poking around to see what else is out there. You start trying to piece it all together. And so it was coming fast yesterday. So where like I was getting one tweet out, and then you look up, and then there was another deal, and then there was another deal, and then there was another deal. And two sneaky deals I'm going to point to that I don't think most people are going to give credit because of all the stuff that happened today. But Shane Bieber in Toronto, if they could get him right, boy, is that a sneaky pickup for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it could really go either way. It is risky, but as you mentioned, if Shane Bieber, who hasn't actually pitched this season yet, he is already, going through the rehab assignment, so he should be back at some point in August.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, shout out to the Blue Jays for taking a risk. Like, listen, it may not be the Shane Bieber of old, but if he could give us a little something in addition to what we already have, who also, by the way, they made a deal for Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's now in their bullpen.
I like that. I like
it as well. Yeah.
I like that. And you know what it shows me is that, Razy, you make a great point, bro. I got to give you this. I got to give you the credit here. That's a great point by you. I also want to tackle this because we talked about the Blue Jays, right? I think what the Blue Jays tried to do was they're trying to play for now, but they're also trying to see what's coming down the road. You understand what I'm saying? Like they got their eyes set on, the future, and so I think they were trying to get Stephen Kwan from the Guardians as late as like 5:45. They were on the phone trying to get whatever they could have gotten done because
I thought Quan was gone, man. Like the moment it came out and the moment I saw his name actually start to heat up, I said he might be out.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. For a brief moment,
it looked like he was gone.
I thought he was going to the Padres.
Wow.
For like half a second, I was like, oh. I thought it was going to be the Padres or the Dodgers, brother. I'm like, Stephen Kwan with that Dodger in the Dodger lineup. If they get right, man.
That would have been crazy.
Stephen Kwan, Freddie, Mookie, Ohtani. Oh, my good Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
And what's going to end up happening is Stephen Kwan's going to be traded at some point because the Guardians just lost all leverage in this, right? Like, you probably can't re-sign him. Teams are looking for him because he's valuable. He's a very valuable commodity. And if this is what players of a certain level are worth, Stephen Kwan could net you something nice because the way he plays the game, people are looking for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, he's a pest. He's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases. His on-base percentage is always near, like, 380, close to 400 every single year. This guy is a literal definition of a throwback leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
I was having nightmares of him, Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Fernando, and in one lineup. I'm like, I caught a migraine. Because I'm like, how do you pitch to that?
Right, like don't let it happen if you're any other team.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with the Mets, I'm like, yo, if Stephen Kwan goes to the Mets, you put him with Lindor, Soto, Alonso.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo, problematic.
Yo, dog. First of all, he's gonna see like 13 pitches in that bat, which is next level. Son.
And by the way, he also plays a Gold Glove caliber
left field, which is insane. Mm-hmm. And listen, that's why I would have did something crazy. You know what I would have done? If I was the Mets, I'd have said, you know what? I got Cedric Mullins, but I'm going to get him too.
Damn, bro. And I mean, I felt like the Mets did enough, man. I really enjoyed
what they did. They did enough, but here's the thing. If you really want to make the Dodgers look at you like, oh, damn. If you really want to make people look at you in a different sort of way, now you literally have no holes defensively in your outfield. And that would have been an excuse for me to say, Juan Soto, yo, sit your non-defensive playing ass right here on this bench, be the DH, and this is how we rocking for the rest of the season. Because I will tell you, yo, that lineup is gonna be really, really good, man. That lineup, to me, Cedric Mullins added a different element to the lineup. Because even if you bat Cedric Mullins anywhere between 7th and 9th, he gives you something.
Right.
I like the fit. I've always
there were also certain teams who, like, listen, their trades didn't like make the most noise, I must say, in terms of like who may have been involved. But in terms of what it could do, like a team like the Reds, they made some interesting deals.
Like that Ke'Bryan Hayes deal was like, I'm like,
right. Like I know right now it seems like, and it actually is, right? Like the Cubs and the Brewers are front runners in the Central.
Yeah.
But the Reds, they didn't actually give up. You know, like they made a couple of deals that say, we're actually going to give it a shot, you know?
Nah, like Ke'Bryan Hayes is a solid above average defender. Like, I wonder if a change of scenery going to a different yard with a different team, probably a little closer to the pennant race, gets you feeling like, you know what, hey, maybe this works.
They also got Zach Little from the Rays, too.
Zach Littell, yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Littell, who pitched against the Yankees last night, was traded while he was literally traded while he was getting his shoulder iced during the game yesterday. Like he was in the clubhouse and Tampa called him and was like, yo, you're getting moved.
We actually
Also-
saw a guy be emotional. Budo, who was actually
Yeah.
traded by the Mets.
hmm
He had what many would say, if you remember, there's a Wilmer Flores moment, right?
Oh yeah,
Where
for sure.
I mean, listen, I don't know what it is for some of these guys. I don't know if playing for the Mets is actually all that special, but I
No,
believe he's been there since he was a teenager, if I'm not mistaken, right?
he's been with the Mets since he was 19. That's all he
Yeah,
knows.
so
It's
I
so it's
get
like,
it, that's home.
yeah, that's a little different. But yo, I'm kind of mad at a few teams. Can we get on to the shitting part of the show where I'm angry at people and
Well,
I just let?
we talked about the Tigers already, and we
No,
talked about the Red Sox.
I'm mad at somebody else. I'm mad at two other teams today. Minnesota, you're gonna trade everybody, but we're gonna keep Joe Ryan.
True.
Why?
Yeah, true.
Help me understand it, yo, bro. You could have gotten a king's ransom for Joe Ryan.
Right. A lot of teams, I think, would have wanted him.
Are you kidding me? Yo, what? Joe Ryan and Pittsburgh. Yo, for real? We're holding on to Mitch Keller to do what? To win 70 games next season? Again? Again.
No, that's just to make Paul Skeens feel a little comfortable.
Man. Yo. Hold up. For real? I hate. Why do anything then? You traded Bradley Falter, you traded Bednar, but you kept Dennis Santana and frigging Mitch Keller. Oh, I feel good about this. Tommy Pham, you kept Tommy Pham? Why is Tommy Pham still there?
Yeah, he should have easily been moved to a contender.
Yo, I'm sitting there like, yo, Ben Cherington needs to be fired from malfeasance. That's malfeasance. That's dereliction of duty time, bro.
Sox fan, what's going on? Shout out to you for joining us.
That is crazy. Nah, I don't see, but do you have the prospects to get your Ryan though? Because if this is what I'm going to propose too, there needs to be a trade deadline in the offseason. Look at how crazy that got. The moment we got to Wednesday night, it was like, oh, deadline's here.
Yeah.
Can't play around no more. Deadline during the offseason, dog. Let's go. Let's do this.
Right? None of this February, March.
No.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. There needs to be a trade deadline in the offseason. Somebody's going to want Tommy Pham. Somebody's going to want Tommy Pham because of what he brings in terms of veteran leadership. Is he the same player? No. But a player like Tommy Pham in the playoffs can help somebody.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they're probably going to cut him. They're going to DFA him. And the first team that is going to pick him up is a playoff team. But what I'm saying is, it's like, yo, dog, there needs to be a level of like, yo, we need to have action.
Urgency.
So what I'm proposing is, yo, off-season trade deadline, and there's a cutoff point to when you could sign players, and then there's a momentary freeze. Where during that time you can't sign nobody. You have from this time to sign players, and if you don't do it, you can't get it done.
I like that.
Because there's no sense. Why are we having free agency drag into March?
Yeah.
What do we do? How does that help the sport?
Now that you say that, I'm starting to picture it and how something like that would actually look if implemented. And I wouldn't be mad if Major League Baseball were to say, look, at the start of the new year or come like mid-January, there's no more. Absolutely not. We're not overriding anything. There's as you mentioned, Stefan, there's no more deals, no more signings, no more trades.
That's it.
Whoever you got is who you're rolling into spring training with.
And that's it. And you can make trades. He just gave me the perfect thank you, bro. Thank you. Sox fan for life.
Yeah.
What have I been
solid?
What have I been saying? For me, I'd cut it off. February 1st would be my cutoff date because spring training starts 2 weeks before that. I do not want to go into spring training and still see free agents on the board. That is insane.
Quality players too, like not just anyone, but
and the
good
players union and the players union. This is why I'm done with the hypocrisy, right? Oh, but we want a fair shake. We want to be able to explore our options. We want to be able to. If somebody really wanted you, they'd have signed you as soon as they got the chance to sign you. Why are we sitting here playing this game? Oh, but that negates some of our ability to make moves and make the most money we can. And blah, 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 blah. If you perform and you play well, you're gonna get paid.
Right.
Don't use the frozen market as an excuse for the fact that you didn't perform well.
Mm-hmm. Teams know exactly who they want.
Right. And so what I think this will help the players because the players will realize, yo, hold up. There's a deadline. That means they got to pay us earlier. Word. All right. So what I would do in my brain, because me and a couple people talked about, I think me and you talked about this too, off mic though. We talked about the idea of, trade deadline needs to be at the winter meetings. So you come in that Sunday night, the winter meetings start Monday. That Monday morning, there's a 72-hour open window of transaction. You got all the executives are in the same hotel. You can literally knock on the door and get cracking. When you leave the winter meetings that Wednesday, you can't make trades. You can only sign free agents. That's the only way you improve your team. Trades are off the table until the season starts. So you give time for the free agents to sign contracts, right? And then the free agency period will stop on February 1st.
I like that a lot.
Oh, but what happens to the free agents that ain't signed yet? You know what? Tell Scott Boras to get off his ass and get a contract done.
You know what that does too? That also gives more meaning to a trade deadline. It gives more meaning to the winter's meeting rather than just it being that. And sometimes we see this happen often. Winter meetings come around, not much happens. Trade deadline comes around, about a month and a half. We hear a couple of big name players are going to be on the move, and nothing happens. But with this idea that you're throwing out there, Stefan, now there's none of that. You either know what you want to do or you're just going to stay put. There's none of this in between. Well, we'll mess around with it. We'll see who's interested. We might consider moving on from a guy. Nah, it's yes or no.
And also, too, you know what it makes you do? Here's the thing it makes you do, because I was thinking about this too, right? It makes you have to realize, this is for the betterment of the sport. If the top 1% is always going to be paid, it's a trickle-down thing, right? People are like, oh, but what about the middleman, the veteran reliever? They ain't getting paid anyway. Anthony Rizzo's not playing this year because nobody wanted to pay him. You think there's a difference between when somebody gets paid and when they don't? What are we talking about?
Right. How old is Rizzo? He might have to retire now, man.
No, but I'm saying, look.
35.
Rizzo got squeezed out. He didn't get a job. David Robinson, he just got a job 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he nearly was going to be out as well all season.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hold up. Wouldn't you want as a player for there to be opportunities for you to know, I'm going to get a job? For you to know, listen, this is where I'm going to play. This is exactly where I'm going to play. This is exactly how this is going to go down. Because here's the thing. What does deadlines do? Deadlines make people work faster, and they give you an itch, and they make you want to go, I got to get this done. I'll use this one example. Just look at this trade deadline. I was being told, this deadline might not be all that. This deadline might not do it. And then what happened? These executives woke up from a slumber and said, hold up, you said deadline and we can't make no more trades and we can't do nothing else because there is no waiver deadline anymore. I gotta go now. If you're telling GMs and president of baseball ops, you can't do nothing after a certain date and you have to get it done within this confined space, then it's go time. Like, I do not want to hear GMs like Ben Charrington say, "Oh, we're exploring our avenues." Ben, come on, bro.
And the whole purpose of, these moments, throughout the year is for it to be special. It should be
Yes.
exciting. A trade deadline, listen, asking every year to be like this year is asking for a lot.
No,
but
it is.
should be exciting nonetheless.
It is.
The winter meetings should be exciting,
And here's the other thing too, right? Like maybe a cap works for the players. Because you're not getting all the money you want, right? You're not getting all the money you want. You're not getting all the years you want. But a cap might work because a cap incentivizes you as a player to keep performing well, to get paid. And it also incentivizes the team that wants to pay you. Yo, this is what he's worth. This is what we can give him. Pay him his money. Right? Like, you know what I think the cap should get rid of too? Arbitration should be off. Get out of here. Get arbitration out of here. And I'm using all these examples because nobody had an anchor tied to their behind today or yesterday for that matter. It's like, yo, we got to improve the team. We can't wait around. What? What are you talking about? We got to go right now. Because if we don't, we're going to get left out in the cold. Right? Like even the Royals made a sneaky deadline pick on picking up Mike Yastrzemski. Well, you're like, hold up. Where'd that come from? Y'all been hiding in the weeds, bro? Signing Seth Lugo to a contract. Like the Royals, with the little bit of resources they have, they're out here making moves.
Right.
There has to be some level of respect for the game, urgency for the process, right? And I'm sitting here today and I'm like, Pittsburgh, you're a joke. Tigers, you're a joke. Toronto, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You see the window, how small the window is. The window can go from here to here real quick. Right? And you can't play around with, but maybe if we do this and maybe if we buy some time, this might work. Right? Like, I wonder if the thought process is maybe as an executive, maybe a cap and self-imposed deadlines are better for the game. Because everybody else got it. What happens the first day in NBA free agency? Everybody named Mama signed.
Yeah, crazy.
First day.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of crazy how we're literally already at the very end of July, tomorrow being the first day of August. And I'm just thinking back to just a few months ago, right? Like a team like the Arizona Diamondbacks, who a lot of us were high on, even, people in the league. Yeah, now, Suarez gone, Kelly gone, Josh Naylor gone. Now it's like, damn, that Corbin Burns deal, I don't know. And it's not Corbin Burns' fault, but was it really worth it? You got to look at it that way now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Like the other thing I'm thinking about too is like, yo, if you're Byron Buxton, you're walking into the Twins clubhouse tomorrow. You're like Will Smith in the scene with
where everybody at,
and nobody's in the room. It's just you.
Right.
Byron Buxton needs to ask for a trade. Like the day the World Series is over. Get me the uck up out of here, please. Son, that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We have babied these players so much to the point where, like, I would tell the Twins straight up, yo, pick 5 teams, I'm trading you. The Twins should tell him this. Don't give him the option. Yo, we trading you, that's it. You got a no trade clause? All right, tell me where you want to go.
Right.
Like Carlos Correa basically said to the Twins, yo, this ain't working. I got a no trade. I'm going to tell you exactly where I want to go and make it happen.
In fact, what I really think he said was, yo, shout out to y'all for being the only team to pay me.
Appreciate that.
I'm going back home. Straight up. That's what he said.
That. You know what I'm saying? And look, you know what this deadline also told me? This is really important. I don't know if you feel the same way about this. Club control means everything to these teams now. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what the Padres did. Mason Miller got, I think, 4 years of club control left. Like Suarez is a free agent, probably gone after this year. Like, all right, we're gonna lose the closer. Cool, we got one. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, gone. All right, we're gonna place you with Duvall and Bednar. Years of club control, right? Like, we ain't playing with y'all. For what? You leave, we got replacements ready, at the ready to take your job. Also, too, I want to mention this. Watch Anthony Volpe start playing better defense.
You know right?
Why?
All of a sudden.
You know why? Because he realizes Caballero's on the bench. Ahmed Rosario's on the bench. I got people on the bench that could take this spot easily from me.
Who are big league ready.
Right. And also, George Lombard Jr. might be here next year. Fuck around if you want to.
Here's the thing with Volpe, too, though, right? Like, oh, we haven't heard from this person in a while, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, your mama, it's been a while, man.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Some of you guys come back like months after. I can't even remember the last time I saw your name in the chat, but welcome back, man. I think you chose the right day to join us.
Listen, man, I can't even be mad at you today. If you a Pirate fan, you get to talk your ish.
Well, Padre
fan, you get to talk your ish today, my boy.
Yeah.
Talk your ish out here. You get to talk it today. All right. I can't nobody tell you nothing. And here's the thing, right? The other thing that excites me about this is like, you know what these GMs are capable of when they see something and they want it, they go grab it.
Right.
They don't play around. They go grab it. They're like, oh, this is available. I'm going to go snatch it. Maybe, and this is a criticism I've had, but maybe the extra playoff spots have done a good thing for baseball.
Yeah, like if this means that this is what trade deadlines are going to look like moving forward,
sign me up.
Where do I sign?
Sign me up. Because I'm as tired as I am right now. I would wake up and do this all again tomorrow if I knew that this was what it was going to be.
On a serious note, Stefan, because I kind of feel like we've talked about, we're still going to be here for a bit for almost everything for the most part, right? But I got to ask you, because I know the Dr. Pepper is flowing through your bloodstream right now. It's in the veins. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have an injection right now just in your arm.
Right,
with Dr. Pepper, just pumping through. Right. But how much of that did you go through? Like, tell us, because I know the chat, hope for those of you who don't know, Stefan is a Dr. Pepper kind of guy, By the way, Dr. Pepper, if you're watching, we would really appreciate that sponsor. I know this guy here, he already does it for free, but I mean, listen, I don't even drink soda. I stopped drinking soda years ago, but I might even crack open a 2-liter myself.
Yo, for the right sponsorship check, holla at your boys, know what I mean?
By the way, we do have this here. We like to show this when we do say stuff like that. So,
yo, for real, come see
get
it.
at us. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I probably ran through about a bottle and a half.
Today alone, or back to yesterday?
Going back to yesterday. I kind of.
Okay, I was about to say.
We space it out. I don't want to like too much soda is crazy. You get the jitters, and I don't even feeling right. But I will tell you, no funny. I'm excited now because I'm here doing this with you. This might be the tiredest I've been after a deadline that I can remember since doing this. I'm like, yo, it's like a zombie.
I know for a couple of people, Stefan, I know days like opening day, and some others as well are like a Christmas, it kind of feels like a Christmas holiday. But today and yesterday, the trade deadline period lived up to that. Like, I think come December 25th later this year, that's not only Christmas. Like, as a baseball fan, we literally just had Christmas, and we should be thankful for that.
And here's what I'm going to tell you, right? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. The sport should be applauded for this today.
Hell yeah.
Like, we give baseball a lot of shit for like, they don't get it right. They don't understand the meaning of entertainment value. They don't understand the meaning of blah, blah, blah. They killed this today.
I had more fun watching what was unfolding as the deadline was approaching than I did watching the home run derby and the All-Star game.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Straight up, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Chat, let me know. Is the deadline like? I believe it lived up to the hype.
It surpassed it for me. It surpassed it for me because
true.
When you start to ask a question of, people like me, we hate it because that means I'm not sleeping until about 2-3 in the morning. I'm literally crawling into bed with the phone on like 12 and the iPad almost damn near dead. But you're thankful for days like this, for shows like ours, for fans that are in the chat like you guys are tonight. This is what the game is all about. And as I was going through this today, I had a bit of a sappy moment. I don't do this often, but I think it's appropriate right now. I thought of my dad because my dad would always be like, "Hey, what's on the agenda for today? What are these teams looking for? What are they doing? What do they want to do? Like, what's the thought process?" And I'm like, "You know what, Dad? I don't know. Give me a couple hours to get into it and all this." And then, but you knew today, the moment I woke up and I opened my eyes, I was like, teams know what they want to do. If you're selling, you want to sell to maximize the value more than you've ever sold before in your life. If you buying, you want to buy for you and 3 generations of you. And I'm being figurative when I say that, but like you want to buy. And so today felt like, you know what? Baseball understood the assignment. Put the best players on the best teams and let's go win this damn thing.
Right.
Let the best players duke it out. I want to see more Brian Cashman, JJ Prellers, David Stearns at the forefront of this thing.
By the way, guys, I must admit as well, Stefan, you know this is true, but today, this exact show that we are doing right now, this is one of those shows that we had on the calendar months ago, dating back to the off season. Like, yo, trade deadline night, special edition of the show. We gotta be there, and to really sit here and unfold everything here with you guys, to have as many people that we have right now in the chat. I know some of you guys are not commenting, but shout out to you guys as well.
Appreciate that.
It's a pretty big deal,
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, bro, is when I saw you, not to go back to this, but when I saw you for my function, for my birthday party, I was like, yo, I think that night's going to be fucking insane. And we just laughed to each other because it was like, let's see what it comes down to. But like my mom,
we didn't think it was gonna be like this. Though.
No,
we had the conversation.
We didn't think it was gonna be like
both
this.
of us were some like, nah, not really. Yankees, I don't think. Nah, I think they sent this one out.
At one point, I was like, I think the most aggressive team during this deadline might be the Tigers. Like the Tigers, the Blue. Like I thought those teams were gonna go for it.
Right.
And what's funny is my mom called me today. She's like, "Hey, I know the baseball trade deadline is today. I just want to make sure you're eating, you're putting fuel in your body. I know you're not sleeping, but are you doing the other things?"
I know you looked at that phone like, yo, how is she calling me right now? She should already know. I know that's mom. So.
So, a funny story, she calls me right as I'm breaking the David Bednar trade to the Yankees. I'm like, "Mom, I'm going to have to call you back." She's like, "What? Can I just call to say hi?" I'm like, "All right, hi. I'm going to have to call you back." Because I'm in the middle of like typing out the trade. And she's like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm not even looking up at her. I just swiped. She picked up. I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You okay? Are you eating? Are you functional?" I'm like, "I got to call you back. There's a trade." She goes, I just called you." I hung up with her. My girl calls like 2 minutes later.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much.
I was like, I got to call you back. So yeah. I stood on the phone with her for a few minutes. I was like, all right. She had to leave. She lets me go. I still haven't spoken to her yet. And so it's literally been...
I mean, this is all temporary. Ladies, if you have a man who, is doing something like Stefan and myself or anything else that they're pretty serious about and literally trying to build from the ground up, I don't say this to be disrespectful, but it's okay to step aside sometimes, because the funny thing that came to mind is, while I was listening to you speak, Stefan, is I'm the same way when it comes to editing, right? Like when it comes to like putting out content on our off days, I don't like to have to multitask. I don't
No.
like to have somebody in my ear having a
Yeah, no,
conversation with
no.
me. Like, yo, just give me these 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll get back to you with whatever the hell it is you want to talk about. But I gotta focus. So I know
See,
what you mean.
You talking about 30 minutes to an hour. I'm talking about a full 2 days.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I need to leave me alone from like July 29th to August 1st. Just leave me alone for a little while.
But here's the thing: we've talked about this behind the scenes, though, right? And we just want to. We're not going to tell you guys everything that we talk about off the air, right? But it's okay to allow you guys, here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about this before, Stefan. If your mom felt that way, if your girlfriend felt that way, and not that it was bad, right? Because it wasn't.
No.
But if we're brushing people off now, where we only have 216 subs, and by the way, for those of you who are watching, if you haven't subbed yet, please do so. Thumbs up as well. But this thing is only going to continue to grow, right?
That's it.
So hearing us like talk about these moments, it's only gonna continue to grow slowly but surely. Because we're gonna have less free time to ourselves.
Here's the thing, bro. You saw it the last 2 days. The only time you saw my number pop across your screen was to tell you what? Who got traded, who got dealt, who's coming back.
Yeah, yesterday we spoke, and it was pretty much to talk about some of the things that have happened, what may happen. And then tonight, like we didn't talk ever since.
I haven't spoken to you all day. So I've basically been like hunkered down trying to figure out what's happening next. And most people think, oh, but you could put it down for 5 minutes. If I put it down for 5 minutes, the time I come back, there's 7 trades that just got executed.
Yeah, not the way.
5 minutes.
Now, for other deadlines, I would say, yeah, you might be able to get away with that.
Not
this year. No, not at all.
So I got up about like 8:15, which is what I was going to say before my power got cut off. And the Shane Bieber news came down at 8:30. So from 8:30 to 6, I was deals. And I'm just shoveling food in my face, fruit in my face, water, soda, just trying to keep myself like occupied. Devices are dying. I shut the computer off.
Everything is dead. The phone, the laptop, the iPad, it's all dead. So, somebody get this man 3 charges.
So I'm literally like multitasking. What charges, what doesn't, trying to get everything together. And you realize like, I'm a fucking nut.
Right.
Like I'm a nut. Like we literally sit here and joke, but I'm a nut, man. Because literally from yesterday till today, I think I've typed the word baseball, trade, MLB. I've typed it like so much I can literally spell it in my sleep now. It's
like
amazing.
Never before, right?
It's insane. Like people are like, oh, but what do you do in the next 3 days? Sleeping.
Literally right after the show for the both of us.
Sleeping. What do you mean? Oh, well, aren't you gonna like get up and do something fun for the week? No. Sleep.
By the way, I know a few minutes ago I did say for the most part we have covered everything. What
do you got?
Look at this comment here. Sox fan for life. I disagree. Like I know the numbers, certainly do go
he
along
might
with
get
what you're saying.
rejuvenated going
but
over
I think
there, bro.
Going to the Astros is going to light a fire in him.
Yeah, man.
Where it brings him back to, listen, he doesn't necessarily have to perform how he probably once did back in his younger days with the Astros. But what we can all sit here and agree on is Carlos Correa in the playoffs is a different human being.
Dude. Yeah, he's a different dude.
I'm just saying. So
he's a different dude.
Because it could be what you're saying, Sox fan for life. Maybe it blows up in their face.
Maybe,
and it should have never happened. But
that's a shot you got to take, though. You heard? Like,
let's see what your mama said here. Let's highlight that comment. This year's deadline made you feel crazy. I wanted to go to see last night.
So wait a minute. I think that's the second to last trade I broke. Was the trade he's talking about, the Steven Matz Jordan Blaze trade?
Yeah.
2 minutes later, Gino gets traded to the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 2 minutes. As I'm typing the Steven Matz trade full return out, the passing bomb hits my friggin'. I'm like, oh, here we go. So you're starting to like, and you always feel like you're underwater the entire day. You get done with one, there's one coming right behind you. Yo, when it hit 5:55, my phone froze. My phone froze.
Worst time for that to happen.
I'm literally on the iPad going, yo. So I'm retweeting.
Damn,
everything.
now that you say that, your phone froze, the power went out. What the hell's going on over there today?
What's going on?
By the way, for those of you who got here a little later, I know some of you guys did. We did have some technical difficulties at the start of the show. Stefan froze. He came back a few minutes later talking about, yo, my power went out. Now he's talking about earlier, right before the deadline wrapped up. The phone froze. Like, get it together, Apple.
No, literally, because I'm like, yo, I'm typing out the Nestor Cortez trade, and my phone, the app just freezes and won't. I'm typing it out, and it won't finish typing the sentence for me. So I'm like, oh, you mother. So I'm running to the iPad. I'm trying to finish everything up. And as I'm doing that, Camille Duvall comes down. Jack Curry reports he got traded to the Yankees. Bro, I was like,
that was a shocker. Honestly.
What is happening right now?
That caught me off guard.
So think of 3 screens literally all up simultaneously trying to type this all in because I got you guys on the computer. I got the iPad open over here, the phone's over here, and I'm like, how the hell do I get through all this? And a bomb goes off at 6:00 because Tampa trades for Griffin Jax, and I'm like, the Rays did what?
Yeah, they also landed Adrian Hauser, I believe, from the White Sox.
He's pitched very well for them this year. He's pitched. By the way, real quick, the last 2 months with that bullpen with Jackson Fairbanks, that's not fair, bro. That's next level ridiculousness right there.
I mean, listen, the Rays didn't do anything that we could sit here and say was crazy, but one thing that we know about the Rays is they love them a trade deadline. Whether it's adding on to like what they may already have,
whether
it's departing with players,
the
Rays will be involved some way, somehow.
So let me ask you a question. I don't know if you thought about this, but Cardinals, what's up with y'all, bro? Did you hear this story?
What's the story?
They let John Mozeliak, for those that don't know, let me give some background to the story before I start wilding out and you guys are all lost. John Mozeliak is the president of baseball operations for the Cardinals. John Mozeliak is stepping down at the end of the year to become, like, he's leaving.
Wow.
Chaim Bloom is going to be the new president of baseball operations in St. Louis. You let John Mozeliak make all these trades and John Mozeliak's not even going to be in the organization in 3 months? Nobody consulted Chaim Bloom and said, yo, what do you want to do? Are you kidding me? Every trade the Cardinals made, John Mozeliak was the point man. Somebody want to explain that to me if you're in St. Louis right now? Serious question. Like, does somebody want to explain that to me?
I feel like because of who they got rid of and sent to the Mets in Helsley, I think they should have also, if you ask me, right? I think if you made that deal, you're looking up at the Brewers, you're looking up at the Cubs, they're going to be neck and neck the rest of the way in August and September. Like, I think the Cards should have also moved on from Nolan Arenado finally and Sonny Gray. I think Sonny Gray shouldn't be with the Cards anymore. Sonny Gray should be on an actual contender right now as we speak.
Sonny Gray, John Mozeliak went to Sonny Gray and said, Sonny, we're thinking about moving on. Like, would you waive the no trade? Where would you want to go? And Sonny Gray's like, no, I'm good. I'm not waiving it. I'm going to finish the year here, and then we'll figure out in the offseason what I'm going to do. The reason why I'm saying John Mozeliak was the point man, because Katie Wu, who covers the Cardinals for The Athletic and also does a show on the Foul Territory Network, said that John Mozeliak was heavily involved in acquiring and trading most of these players that got dealt. Now, yes, Chaim Bloom may have had an influence, but the person making the trades was John Mozeliak. At that point, if you're John Mozeliak, you play the back and you let Chaim Bloom steer the ship. That's what I'm kind of looking at. It's like, I don't want to hear that he was as heavily involved as he was when he's not going to be in the organization in, 2.5 months.
Right.
and you're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, there was also like this didn't surprise me as well. I know you mentioned him briefly, Stefan. But Luis Robert, like I thought he was finally going to be on the move. Now it doesn't surprise me that the White Sox held on to him yet again, because I hate to bring this up again, but shit, even Luis Robert is surprised to still be with the White Sox himself. And here we are, come post trade deadline, and it's like Luis Robert is still with the White Sox. Like, what are you guys waiting for? Come on now, like he don't even want to be there anymore. Like, does he have to come out and say anything else, like publicly, for you guys to finally catch on to the fact that he needs to be dealt?
That's insane, bro. The more you think about it, the more you realize, like, yo, what are some of these teams thinking?
Right. Holding on to players for what? Because it's not like teams didn't want him. Teams wanted him. I know the Mets were interested at one
Phillies,
point.
Padres.
Yeah, like, come on now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stop that BS.
Like,
get rid of guys when you have to. And when you should, too.
Right. So, like, I got a beef. I got a beef with the Guardians, too. So, you're going to trade. You're going to tell Matthew Boyd you're too rich for us in the offseason, but you're going to hold Stephen Kwan hostage? You're going to hold Kate Smith hostage? You know the rent. You know what you could have. You know the price tag you could have met if you traded both those brothers.
Yeah.
Clase may never pitch, and I'm being serious. Clase may never pitch in the big leagues again.
It's possible.
And you playing around? Why? What are we playing around for, bro? For what? I don't understand, bro. I was bewildered. As much fun as we had, I was bewildered by some of this stuff today.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
This.
That's a great point.
This. He's a lefty, is he not, your mama? Damn, I can't believe I just said his username like that.
Yeah.
He's a lefty, right?
ERA at 2.
Are you kidding me, bro? You seen what you were getting for bullpen help?
Mm-hmm.
Teams were trading their lost long relatives for bullpen arms, bro. Are you kidding me?
You know who the other surprise to me was, and we didn't mention his name at all yet, actually, here tonight, but he has, came up as a topic on the show several times this season. Sandy Alcantara.
He was close.
What in the hell happened?
He was
like, dude, I thought he was like the biggest trade piece, not in terms of like his performance, but what teams saw in him, what teams believe he could go back to.
No,
he's still with the Marlins.
Right. So the only thing I can tell you, can I give you an explanation as to why?
And this goes back to my point of you hear guys, oh, he's moving, and he stays put.
Right. So can I give you some context? The context of this is, one, he has 2 years of club control left, I think, after this year. I could be wrong, though. And then the other thing is he's still recovering from Tommy John. So he's not all the way back. They usually say 12 to 18 months, but they lean more towards the 18 months. You get fully a year and a half out. The body starts to feel all the more normal, right? Like, I'll say this. I don't know if they ever got close to anything, but I know the Yankees had sent the Marlins a package for Sandy Alcantara, where the Yankees called the Marlins up and was like, yo, here's the package we think I'm sending you. What do you think? Get back to us. They mulled it over. They talked for about maybe an hour, and they were like, oh, they countered with Spencer Jones. And Cash was like, nah, your man got a 6 ERA. You crazy? I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll trade what I think is fair value, but I'm not doing that. And listen, Houston had a chance to get him. Houston said hell no. The Yankees had a chance to get him. The Yankees said hell no. The Dodgers were poking around for like a half a second. They were like hell no. So just think about the teams that said, "Nah, we good." When pitching is at a premium and you're sitting there asking for the Sun, the Moon, and Stars, thank you, Sox fan, with the this too. Why are you here? Why are they both there? You know what I would have did, because I think you could have gotten way more. Put them in a package together. Put them in a package together. Yo, I got 2 starters available right now. Highest bidder wins. Put your best offers on the table. Go ahead. But again, you got Rick Hahn was on MLB Network, and we're leaving now, I promise. Rick Hahn was on MLB Network today. He said, you get the sense of the teams that are serious and the teams that just want to ask just to see how far they can get. It's almost like you're leading on a girl in a relationship that you know you're never going to get anywhere, but you're like, yo, let me see if I can get this girl to, come to dinner with me and buy me food and take me to the movies and blah, blah, blah. Like you're trying to get a free ride out of it when you have no intention of trading for him, right? And then you have a team that they'll call you. They're like, yo, this is our offer. Take it or leave it. If you want to move him, we're here. Call us back. You got 15 minutes. And you know who I know? The 3 GMs I know that are like that, guaranteed for sure, because I've seen them. I've heard stories about them doing this. Brian Cashman's very direct. When he calls you, yo, you got 15 minutes to call me back. Here's what it is. Or I'm going to move on. AJ Preller, you got 15 minutes to call me back. If you don't, I'm going to move on. Dave Dombrowski, I ain't here all day. I'm 70 years old. You got 15 minutes to call me back. I know what I want. This is what we're willing to give up. What's good?
He said I'm 70 years old.
Right. But you get the point. I ain't got time to play around and waste time with y'all.
Right.
Right? If you the Marlins, how dare you ask for this? How dare you? How dare you?
For Sandy?
Yes.
No, that's disrespectful.
Yo, they called the Yankees and were like, yo, we want Spencer Jones, Dominguez, and Lombard. Cash was like, click. What? I'll give you one of the 3.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
I'll give you Dominguez and maybe a Rocco Reggio, or maybe some other prospects that are in the system. But you're asking me for the top of the top. What? Wait, what?
Right. Put that comment there by Rick. Let me read that. Y'all blaming the teams that didn't trade Luis Robert and Alcantara. No, they aren't worth being traded. The league. Well, I get you. I get your point. I think Luis Robert could probably help a team more out now than Alcantara, because I kind of feel like we've been waiting for Alcantara to pitch better, and then he goes out there and he gets rocked again. So it's been pretty tough with him. But like you said, he's still trying to get back into the rhythm of pitching. Yeah, you're right. And who's gonna suffer from that too is over the next 2 months, the Blue Jays with Shane Bieber. Yeah, like you're asking Shane Bieber to come out and do a lot after Tommy John surgery in just 2 months. Like, I know y'all want to win the American League East. I know y'all want to make some noise in the American League in the playoffs. It's gonna be tough, but not easy, Yeah,
it's gonna be tough. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I had a blast. We had a blast.
Yeah, man, for sure. One last reminder for all of you guys. We still got 10 people in here, actually. Thumbs up the video. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at 27outs3C. For those of you who are still here right now, thank you so much. As I mentioned, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're new here, by the way, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I am Ivan. That is Stefan. This is 27 Outs. Tonight was a special trade deadline edition of the show. We hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I don't really have much else to say. Pretty exciting night. Pretty exciting 48 hours, I must say, considering the past 2 days and everything that went down. I'm pleased. I'm thankful. I mean, the only thing I'm really looking forward to is October baseball now. You know what's funny? You guys ever heard that song, Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day? Literally, wake me up when September ends. Like, I want to wake up tomorrow and we dive head first into postseason baseball. But we've got all of August, with tomorrow being August 1st. We've got all of September left. So we've got some time, but we're going to enjoy the hell out of that here with you guys. But yeah, I have no other words, bro. Anything else? If not, feel free to wrap it up.
I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you. We'll see you guys Monday night.
Thank you.